Good morning everyone, and welcome to the 6th section of the course, Storytelling with Data using Tableau. In this section, you will be introduced to key concepts that make a simple visualization a story, and we will introduce the Create a Story feature within Tableau. In this video, we will introduce the key concepts to creating a story. Storytelling is a cornerstone of the human experience. The universe may be full of atoms, but it's through stories that we truly construct our world. A few centuries have brought us from hand-drawn maps to movies and computer graphics. Humans continue to build innovative ways to tell powerful stories, and Tableau story points and dashboards are the new evolution of storytelling with data. Data tells you what's happening, but stories tell you why it's happening. Stories are excellent tools for passing knowledge from one person to another, and they're exceptionally good at getting points across. When it comes to storytelling with data, the technical lessons you have learned in the first 5 sections will be useful, but they must be integrated with an overall view which consists in understanding of the following product management requirements. First, begin with the understanding of the client, such as their technical and business requirements. Then understand the context of the visualization and the audience which is going to listen to it. Capture user stories or business problems they are trying to address in order to choose an appropriate visual that brings the story alive and answers the client's questions. Create a data model and an initial prototype, such as a storyboard, to solve the above problems. Showcase the visualization to stakeholders in order to seek feedback and integrate new write processes. Do a data reconcile to make sure the numbers in the visualization are matching with the numbers in the source. Create a unit testing, system testing, UAT for an implementation of the production. Finally, deploy your work through the user training, support and maintenance. The challenge for a modern storyteller is essentially one: building a bridge between the usually disconnected words of visuals analysis and standard communications, figuring out how the two can benefit each other. By plotting data in a sequence, you can help viewers understand the context and make useful connections between each point. You can use a series of visualizations to guide readers through a thought process in a focused, user-friendly way. With a data story, hundreds of millions of rows can be distilled into a single narrative. By following the narrative, it's much easier to understand what's going on beneath the surface. In other words, the data will tell you what's happening, and the story elucidate the cause in a very clear way. The following sequence will describe 7 different data story approaches you can take. Change over time uses a chronological to illustrate a trend. Discussing, for example, why is a fact happening? Or why does it keep happening? What can we do to prevent or make this happen? Drill down sets the context so that your audience better understands what's going on in a particular category, giving rapidly key information. Zoom out describes how something your audience cares about relates to the bigger picture, starting from something which initially doesn't seem to have a focal role. Contrast shows how 2 or more subjects differ or proceed. Intersections highlight important shifts when one category overtakes another. Factors explains a subject by dividing it into types or categories and discussing if there is a particular category we should focus on more, or how much do these items affect the metric we care about. Outliers. Usually with scatter plots, they are chosen to display anomalies or things which are exceptionally different. A common error is trying to cram too many views and dashboards into a single story. The result is too many points for your viewer to take in. The clarity of each story point is also important. Take a step back and consider your story from the perspective of someone who's never seen it. We will explore how to create great stories from data in the next videos. In this video, we are going to explore the story tools embedded within Tableau. When you use the story feature in Tableau, you are building a sequence of points where each one can contain a view, dashboard, or even just a text string. Some stories show the same view throughout different perspectives, where text annotations and different filters applied to different points to support the increased narrative. To be more specific, a Tableau story is a sequence of visualizations that work together to convey information. You can create stories to tell a data narrative, provide context, demonstrate how decisions relate to outcomes, or to simply make a compelling case. A story is a sheet. So the methods you use to create, name and manage worksheets and dashboards is also applied to stories. Here's a first approach. We will give you a first glance to the Tableau story interface in order to start with the right foot. At the top left, options for adding a new story point. Choose blank to add a new point, or duplicate to use the current story points as the starting place for your next point. Similar to do the dashboard pane. The story pane is the left, is used to drag dashboard sheets and text descriptions to your story sheet. At the bottom of the view, this is also where you set the size of your story and display or hide the title. The layout pane is where you choose your navigator style or display or hide the forward and back arrows. The story menu at the top of the view in the main toolbar is used to format the story or copy or export the current story points as an image. You can also clear the entire story here and show or hide the navigator and story title. The story toolbar appears when you hover with the mouse over the navigator area. Use it to revert changes, apply updates to the story points, delete a story point, or create a new one out of the current, customized one. The navigator allows you to edit or organize your story points. It also how your audience will step through the story. Dashboards, as we learned, are a common ingredient in Tableau stories. For dashboards that you plan to include in your story, you can use the Fit To options under Size on the dashboard pane to choose the Fit To a Story option. Resize your dashboard so that it's right size for the story you're creating. In conclusion today, you learned the importance to tell stories when planning your analysis.